happening, everybody? All right. It's been a while, hasn't it? We've been at a campground doing some Halloween stuff. If you follow the RV channel that I have, you'll see that on there. Other than that, let me see if I can zoom this back out. What's up, Trucker for Life? How's it going? Well, running on empty. How many of you guys actually know what it takes to run that truck, run your business, run your household and everything like that? I still get people wanting to know how to figure out their cost per mile. Well, that's good to know, but cost per mile is variable. There's a lot of variables. And if you run your business on cost per mile, you have more chances to fail than succeed. How many of you guys believe that? Guys and gals out there believe if you run your business on cost per mile, and what you think it costs you to run per mile, that you have more chance for failure than running on cost per day. Because every business has a daily cost. It doesn't matter if your truck's paid off. You still have a daily cost to run that business. So, we'll show a little proof of cost per mile. Why, if you run by that, by what a lot of these people out there tell you and things like that, because they're all stuck on per mile, right? Oh, I don't move my truck unless I get $3 per mile. Well, those individuals, and a lot of them are at a company with this big blue star on the side of their trailer, because that's what they preach over there, is cost per mile. And there's a big reason why a lot of them get in trouble. Because, and I know this firsthand, because I was there for almost 10 years, close to it. And I sat there at the homeless shelter in St. Augustine, Florida, watching these guys sit there for 3, 4, or 5 days during January, February, and sometime a little bit of March, going, well, I don't move my truck. Well, this back then was like, I don't move my truck for less than $2.25 a mile, $2.25. They'll sit there 3 days. Then they'll get a $2.30, $2.40 a mile run and take off. Well, the problem is, yeah, they got their cost per mile, but that's not their cost per mile now. Is it? No, it's not, because they sat for 3 or 4 days. But see, they don't think about that. What do I see coming down the pike, Tarek? I see good times for the people that stay in it. This happens all the time. It's cyclical, right? It happens all the time. People get into trucking when it's good. Good times. And they make a bunch of money. They spend it. They don't save it. And then when times get lean, like now, they go out of business. Sell their trucks, things like that, lose their trucks. And what it does, it rights the ship for everybody else that knows how to run the business. Those folks, when the tide turns, they make a lot of money. And the other folks that left, they see this money, but it's too late. The curve, they're starting on the bottom side of the curve when they come back. And they just keep doing it over and over and over again. And you'll see the ones that do it. I mean, you can see it right here on YouTube. If you follow YouTube truckers, you'll see a bunch of them. They'll go to the spot market, then they'll go back to a company, and then they'll come back to the spot market and go back to the company. And all they're doing is losing money. Because they lose more money when they switch a company than just staying there. Because you got to factor in all those weeks it takes you to go from one company to another one, and so forth. Especially if they go back to mega companies. Now, if you come over to this company, you're not going to lose anything because we pay by the day. So, which means if I send you all the stuff to put in your truck, just like Landstar does, right? They'll do that. We don't really have an orientation. We can talk to you over the phone. So if you could put an ELD in, I'll send you everything. Signs, ELD, permit book, everything. You slap it on your truck. And if you did your last load for a company today, you're running for freight. You're running freight the next day. You're not going for 3, 4, 5 day orientation. Why do you need that? You're already driving a truck. You already own a truck. You're a business. So if you can do that, and you did a 1 day run, you're getting paid the next day. You'll get paychecks before you even get your last check from the other company. So switch to this company, you don't have that loss. But anyway, we'll show you how this works, and we're going to make it simple. So if a guy has a $2,000 truck payment, and this is the business side, right? Let's try to get this right. And this is the home side. And anybody that tells you that you don't worry about this, you only do this to make the business successful is wrong. Totally wrong. And I don't care what they say. They're wrong. Because if you don't make enough money here to go here, this ain't going to work, especially if you're married. So you have to include this. Have to in your calculation. Because people say, why pay myself? Well, then that's this here. But then that's another story for another video. If you're an owner-operator and you're self-employed and you're not doing the corporation deal, you don't need to pay yourself, because whatever is at the end of your Schedule C is your that is your pay. You'll pay self-employment tax on that. Nothing says you got to pay yourself as a self-employed owner-operator, sole proprietor. Your pay is whatever's at the end, plus or minus. So if you did $15,000 profit, that's your pay. $15,000. That's all you made. Even though you make a whole lot more because of the deductions. But see, the IRS is smart. They know that. If you've ever been through an audit, they'll sit there and they'll back out the days on the road, and they'll back out interest, and they'll back out some other stuff. And they'll say, oh, well, your real pay was 80 grand, but you only showed making 10, but it's legal because they give you those deductions. Do an owner-operator have to cover their US DOT number to be part of history, of your history? What are you talking about? To Rick, if you want to come over here, you just apply. You don't have to have a DOT number to come over here. You use our DOT number, and for that, it's an easy, straight 80-20%, as long as you have your own trailer. And if you use our trailer, it's a lower percentage, but if you want to rent the trailer from us, then it's still 80%. Right? But so if you're a business and you got $2,000 truck payment, and let's say insurance is $500 a month, and you have a maintenance of, let's say somebody does $500 a month for maintenance, and if they have a trailer in there at $600, so their total is $3,600 a month. Now, some people want to color it cost per mile. If they get 7 miles to the gallon, well, let's do the new trucks. Let's say you get 8 miles to the gallon, and it's $4 per gallon for fuel. That's 50 cents a mile for fuel, right? So over here, you got fuel, 50 cents per mile, right? So on this 3,600, if you do 10,000 miles in a month, you divide that, your cost is 36 cents per mile. And if you add that to your fuel, you're at 86 cents per mile. Now, somebody could say, man, I'm, 86 cents, but they don't add it in their household, and that's what they think they can run on, which they can't. And that's on a 10,000 mile month. Well, what happens? Well, let's say they do their paycheck. This is their paycheck. Let's say all their home bills, credit cards, mortgage, everything. Let's say all that comes to $4,000 per month. Now, 10,000 miles, and that's 40 cents. Take your 86, add the 40, $1.26 per mile. If you do $1.26 per mile, you'll never go out of business if you do 10,000 miles and you average the $1.26 a mile. But let's just say, okay, I need that. And you wait, because in their mind, they need 2 1/4, right? So they wait. Now they only get 6,000 miles in a month. How do these numbers change? How do those numbers change? Anybody got the answer? So, if they only did 6,000 miles a month, right? This is 6,000 miles. If they fail to do their 10 and they do their 6, this 36 cents right here, that goes to 60 cents. That's a 14-cent increase. Now it's $1.46. You see the variable? So if they were running on this $1.26, let's say the whole time, and they only did 6,000 miles, they actually did $1.46. So they're $1,200. That's a 20-cent difference times that. That's $1,200 short of paying their bills. But hey, they know their cost per mile. They know it. Boy, they sat 3 days to get that. But they only get this. And they wonder why they're going out of business. Maybe they should learn cost per day. Because that's what all the other businesses run on. They have a daily cost. It doesn't matter if you own a restaurant, music store, anything. Everything has a daily cost to run. Same thing with trucking. Now, we could take a look at these lease purchase people. Oh my Lord, they're in trouble. Oof. Well, let's take TC whiteboard. TC don't need to be up here. I need to get something to wash that off with. Excuse me for a minute. Let me move out of here. Now we're gonna get a phone call. Just like usual. Suspected spam. Who is this? Colorado. Wanting to sell us something. Sell us oceanfront property. Electric vehicles. And anybody that believes this, was it the Uber thing? I read an article the other day. That should have got something else like that off. I read an article the other day, something about autonomous vehicles are here, going to be here a lot sooner than blah, blah, blah. They're not going to be here, folks. Not going to be here, it's going to be a lot longer than that. Come on, think about it. The infrastructure can't even take it. Anybody thinks that electric vehicles or that's all they're going to sell come 2035, it's got another thing coming too. How are you going to charge all those vehicles? How are you going to change everything over to charge all those vehicles? And is the public really going to want to be held to 100 miles radius? Maybe 300. You can't go travel anymore. You can't drive anymore. If you want to go from, let's say Snorlord is in Springfield, Missouri, and he says, hey, man, I'm going to take the kids to Disney. Is he going to take 7 days to drive there? A few hundred miles, stop the car. Is there going to be 200, if you go to a hotel and they have 200 rooms, are they going to have 200 charging stations out in their parking lot? Come on. How are these businesses going to put all those up there? Think about it. People need to wake up in this country. Yeah. You can use me as an example. It's okay. Shannon wants to. I don't care, Shannon. We can use you as an example. So, there are some lease programs out there that are pretty bad. And let's say they have a $1,500 a week. Right? So they're at $1,500 a week payment. Now, that's going to have their insurance and all that stuff in it, right? So we're just going to go with that 1,500, times it by 4.33. You're at $6,495. But we're going to just up it to $6,500 per month. We're not going to worry about that $5. So at 10,000 miles, he's already at 65 cents a mile without even adding in fuel or household or anything else, right? So if you're on a lease at one of these companies at $1,500 per week, that's $6,500 per month. And on your 10,000 miles for these cost per mile, guys, that's 65 cents. Add 50 cents in for fuel. You're at $1.15 right there. Now, let's say the guy's over here and he's got $1,500 house payment, a couple car payments, some other stuff, and let's say he's at $5,000 a month. And this is no extra money. This is just to pay all the bills. That's 50 cents. He's at $1.65 per mile. Every single mile. But it's variable. This is variable, right? Because let's say fuel goes up. So it's at $4 a gallon. He gets 8 miles per gallon. That's 50 cents. So let's say it goes to $4.80 a gallon. This goes to 60 cents. So it's variable. That goes to 60. This goes to $1.75. It goes up and down, up and down. So in that week, how does he really know? How does he really know? He stops at the fuel station and it's $5 he puts it in. He doesn't think about it. He's, oh, I'm at $1.65 a mile, because that's what his program tells him for that month before. He was $1.65 a mile. Well, it's changed. So if he runs everything at $1.65 and fuel went up, and he doesn't take that in consideration, at the end of the month, guess what? He's in the hole. How did I get in the hole? I ran for $1.65. See, and here's the thing. People think they got to make $3 a mile to make money. Yes, $3 a mile is great. So is 4 and 5. But if anybody tells you they need $2.25 or $2.50 a mile to make it in this business, they have way too much overhead. Because look at this. Even at 6,500, we got somebody coming in. Let me see. What's up, Snorlord?
How's it going, boss?
Oh, just, back in the office, I guess.
Back in the office. I saw your Halloween decorations. I was quite impressed.
Well, you should have seen it. See, in that picture, I'm in that costume, the Grim Reaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's me
Oh,
standing
are
there.
you the Grim Reaper?
Yeah, that's me standing there. So when they come through, of course, we move and scare the trick or treaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should have saw that, man. It was funny. My my friend there, he was the other Reaper, and so he would move, scare them, and then they think I was the fake one, and I would scare them, and then we had this one girl come through, and he scared her. She goes, "I'm gonna knock you out." She went back. She pulled her fist back. And then I scared her another way out. She said, "I'm gonna knock you all out." It was pretty funny. But the
Looks
grown-ups
looks
were
a lot of
easier to
fun.
scare.
Well, I thought you were going to do a video on the Halloween decorations.
Well, I probably will. We got Saturday. That's the last one.
Put a
It's hard.
GoPro on your head and walk through it.
It's hard for me to do the video because I'm in the thing. So I'll have the wife try to film some video.
There you go.
She was going to this last one, but she had to hand out candy. We had about 2,500 kids come through there. Or people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I didn't forget maintenance account, Kaisley.
So
On this one.
it's official. Jeff on his free time likes to terrorize young people.
Right. Yeah. So we terrorized some people. It was fun. We'll do it again this Saturday.
Is this
But
the last Saturday?
yeah. Yeah, then we'll pack it all up, bring it home, and be done until next year. But that's the thing, this cost per mile, it's so variable. I mean, how do you run a business on that?
I think what I do is I do both. I look at, of course I used Truck and Pro. I still have all those old files, and then I use Truck and Office. But then I divide that number by the day. So I know my
Right.
cost per mile, I know my cost per day, and you just do the math formula to like the week, the day. You can even do it hourly if you wanted to.
Right.
If you drive, if you're a company driver and you drive, let's say, 3,000 miles a week, divide that by how many hours you work. That's how much you made per hour.
Right.
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But you can get yourself in trouble if you need an X amount of cost, rate per mile to make it. Because a
oh
lot
yeah.
of people end up, you were over at Landstar for a long time. When you went to those homeless shelter or terminals, you see guys there been there for days. And what's one of their main reasons they say they don't leave?
Because they aren't moving their truck for less per mile. I fell in that trap as well. I did that. At Landstar, I was very inconsistent. And it wasn't until I went to Schneider and started talking to you that I started to look at the overall revenue and then the revenue per day. And I started to close those gaps. My rate per mile was the same at Schneider as it was at Landstar, but I was making a lot more money because I was more consistent filling in those gaps.
Right.
At Landstar, if I was empty Friday in Oklahoma City, and I didn't have a reload, I was done. Whereas Schneider, there's probably like 15 loads within a 100-mile radius that you can just pick up and go, drop and hook.
Right. You had Schneider has more freight access on their board.
Yeah.
In those areas, right, for deadhead. But that's the thing with Landstar. It's a closed board system.
Right.
I mean, you're only getting what those agents put on that board that they don't broker out to everybody else. And they will. They'll broker that freight out, even though they have BCOs sitting right there.
Well, during orientation, they made it a point to say, look, they help you add up your costs, your gross cost per mile and your net cost per mile. And they made it a point to at least say, if you do a load for right at your cost per mile, are you making money? And a lot of people said no. It's like, no, you're actually, I mean, you've included your house, you've included everything. So yes, you're making the money that you're supposed to. Now, if you go under your cost per mile or your cost per day for one or two loads, as long as it comes out on the other side, so you got a lot of people that, remember there was a person that we knew that sat in Miami because they wouldn't move their truck for less than $3 a mile.
Right. Right.
And so if the cost was, $1.80 a mile and he got three to go in and he deadheaded or got a buck to come out, at the end of the two trips or the three trips together, as long as he was above $1.80, he was good to go. I mean, a lot of people just don't understand that.
Well, not only that, if you're in that situation, or you're running for that company, there's a lot of false sense of making money over there, because when you talk to owner operators over there, and I'm talking about Landstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk to, because we all done it, we were there. So when you ask a Landstar guy, hey, what are you averaging per mile? They're telling you the gross. They're not telling you they're 65% or they're 73 if they have their own trailer or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
True Snorlord, they're telling you they're gross. They don't tell you the net, what they're actually getting.
Right.
Right. They'll say, oh, yeah, I won't run for less than $2.50. Well, actually, they're running for $1.50 and some change because of the percentage. Right. So when they tell these people all this money they're making, they don't tell them that's before the percent. That's before the percentage takeout.
Well, there was a time with that other spot company, a few years ago, that a lot of YouTubers were at, where we were approached, you and I were approached individually from a person that we tried to tell them not to go over there because the drivers over at that place were telling them the gross numbers, like 100% revenue to the truck. I mean, not
Right.
even to the truck, but just, from the rate con. And so he was under this false impression that I can make $300,000 over there. No, that's not what you're getting. You're getting a percentage of that 300 if you run like they do. But this guy didn't realize his costs were higher than these drivers that were showing him. But a lot of people go by that gross number. They hear those numbers on YouTube and they think that that's the amount of money that you're making, and that's not true at all. It's all about the net.
Right.
What good is $300,000 if you're only netting 50 grand, which is, some places are like that.
Well, when I was over there and I ran loads from Detroit down to Miami, I would deadhead from Miami all the way back to Georgia because there was no freight, unless it was watermelon season. Then you would have some freight. But that's another thing. There's a huge amount of deadhead that you got to factor in. It all costs money.
Yeah, and so I mean, and look, as tight as things are now, especially in the spot market, you really got to know every ounce, every second, every penny that's going in and out of your business, because you might find yourself, there's no room for error. I guarantee that, I did a video yesterday about looking at loads going to Florida, and I guarantee you that there's going to be several people that'll pick a load going to Florida because it's paying really well, not paying attention to the fact that there's a hurricane.
Right.
And Freight Waves this morning, just before I clicked on this, they were saying that today is the day that you have to get out of Florida, and the brokers know it, so they're going to try to pass loads for 90 cents a mile, because today's the only day that you're going to get out, because after this, it's any man's game. And then they were talking about the issues with FEMA loads and payment and all that stuff. So I mean, it's important to know every ounce of your industry and in your business. And if you
Well,
don't know, then you know, find the people that do know and learn from them.
right, and that's another thing. If you're going to switch in this time, you better make sure you switch to the right place.
Hmm.
Because if you go to some place that has a long orientation, you might as well say if you're there a week, you can subtract another 5 grand or more in lost revenue. So you got to factor that into it, and you got to factor in all the charges they charge you, and so forth. But we have just as good a fuel discounts and great tire discounts, just like the big guys do. Our tire discounts are really good, are they not, Snowlord? Oh, he's on the phone. He got a phone call from Rob, Canadian Freight Broker. What's up, CDN? Now, we'll talk about cutting costs when it was $4 to $5 a mile. Keeping costs down in any market is key to survive and thrive in any market.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. So I was just talking about, companies that somebody's like, well, I'll go over here because they got a good fuel discount or tire discount. Well, we have that. We have a really good tire discount. We got guys using it all the time. Just had another one use it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be amazed at the amount of people that are still paying cash or credit price on the fuel island. I mean, if you're a single owner operator paying full price at the pump, man, you're wasting a lot of money right now. I mean, even if you get something that's 20 cents off, even if you get a fuel card like that, where whatever carrier you're at.
Well, look, times are hard right now. So cash flow is king. And hey, if you come over here, we pay daily. So if you deliver today, turn your paperwork in, you get your money the next day.
Yeah, yeah, that throws a few people off sometimes because
It
they're used
does.
to getting that wait a week and then get your week settlement. So it can be it's new. I mean, it took me a while to adjust to that, but and you
Well,
definitely got to stay on top of your bank balances and stuff like that. So
right, because sometimes if they do a short run and they took fuel and everything out and they get a few $100s and the next day they get 1,000, 2,000, just depends on the run. Um, they have to add it all up, for the end of the week, but it goes in daily. And we've been doing that system from day one, and it's
mhm.
not going to change.
Yep. So
No, I'm not going to attend the Ascend TMS live seminar in Michigan, CDN. Why? Are you going to be there?
if CDN will be there, that might be cool. Hang out with him.
Yeah, if he's going to be there, I might, whenever it is. I didn't even know they were having one. Um, well, thank you, Big Mac. Appreciate it. I would have to say Light Trucking Corp is good all the way around. Great place. Shannon, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, Shannon's channel's been blowing up here lately. She's been doing pretty good.
Well, yeah, if you do daily um, YouTube or every other day consistent, then the algorithm picks you up more.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
I don't
living
do the
proof of that.
videos. Yeah, I don't do the videos very often anymore. And people ask me why I don't do more. Well, I'm busy. I have other things that I have to take care of.
You're a fleet owner.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not right. I don't make my money off YouTube. It's just a thing I started years ago to try to help people out. Um, and that's what it is.
that's how you and I met. A mutual friend of ours was like, dude, Jeff's shouting you out. You ought to give him a call. And you were doing videos about how, hey, Steve, I see you're struggling at Landstar. Give me a call. And
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Yep. Rest is history. Thank you, Shannon. Falcon Transportation. What's your hiring process? It's easy. Go to lighttrucking.com. Click on the application part up there, the contractor tab. Click on the application. Fill it out. As long as you don't have nothing major on there in the last couple of years, you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, we at least have a conversation.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation. And if you can install the stuff and put the stickers on your truck and all that good stuff, if you need a license plate, we can get that too. But we can send all that stuff in the mail, and you can start right from your hometown to go get a trailer, or if you already have one, you just start right off working. We've had several people start from their house, have we not, Steve?
Yep.
Because ELD is easy to put in. It's not hard. You just unplug and a plug and put another one in, maybe remove a panel or two.
Yeah. And we still have a trailer in Springfield.
Yes, we have a trailer in Springfield. I'm trying to get rid of those trailers. I got to call them up. And yeah, you have to have a truck inspection. You got to have a DOT inspection on your truck. Orientation, if you want to show up, we go over some things. It's not that long. Or we can just do orientation over the phone. It's not that hard.
Yeah, if so, let's say you put all the stuff in your truck yourself. I recommend getting a load either up to Michigan or here, and we can go over a few things, go over the apps, go over logbook stuff, and tell you what to expect, what we expect, and go from there. So.
Right, but if you come from, let's say, Landstar, you don't need orientation. You already know how to call brokers, and you already know how to use apps. Or like Schneider guys, right? They use a click and go app, so they really don't need orientation either, because one, they've been taught by Schneider, which is probably the best orientation out there. So they can just come on over, and their only deal is calling brokers. Other than that, they can use other click and go apps and run just fine. Somebody else is coming in.
We find that the Landstar and Schneider guys really take to this like fish to water because they're already used to self dispatching. The Landstar guys are already used to calling, so this really is a good natural step. So what's up, Sam, man?
Hey, Rich, you
What's
got a
going
trailer
on,
for
guys?
sale?
Yeah, I do.
Well, put it up there.
I just sent you an email
Well,
with all my pictures. So how you doing, Steve?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
Staying busy.
keeping all them trucks rolling.
Yep. Trying. Everybody's going on vacation. Their trucks are down, so it's been kind of light this week. So.
Okay.
yeah, I'll have to get all those in order, and then
Yeah, I mean you could just grab a couple of them. Grab one or two of the best ones. Yeah, I got a 2013 utility dry van. Um, it's got basically new tires. I mean, within the last year, it's had new tires put on it, new brakes. That's all drums and brakes. It's got all new S cams, all new S cam bushings, all new slack adjusters, um, all new airbags, and all new brake cans within the last year. I've got receipts for all that, and I'll provide that.
There you go.
So there's the inside. Yep. Got aluminum rims. All 8. If anybody's interested, Jeff will put my email up. Jeff, I put that email that I want to use in a text thread to you, a text message. So there is some damage to the roof right there, but that's been repaired. It does not leak. The doors aren't damaged. Floor is solid.
You said the email address is in there?
Yeah, it's on your phone. But Cascade T Transport at gmail.com.
That one? All right, there you go. There's the email address. If you're interested in that trailer, send Rich an email, cascadetransport.com.
At gmail.com. Yep.
Yeah, gmail.com. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, it's a nice trailer.
It is a nice trailer. It's in good shape. It's in real good shape, and it doesn't need any maintenance. It's about the same time I had the S-cams and the S-cam bushings done. It had all new wheel seals put in it, all the bearings adjusted. It's had an alignment it's probably due for an alignment. It had an alignment about a year ago. It's got 4 or 8 brand new Bridgestones, well, fairly new. I got 50,000 miles on a set of Bridgestone tires. Like I said, it's got all 4 brake hands, all 4 slack adjusters, all 4 airbags. It's in really good shape. That'll be a good trailer for somebody. So if anybody's interested in it, send me an email. You can put up those pictures again, Jeff. Let them scroll through a little bit.
And you better go get it while you can, because pretty soon you're going to have to go into the cold North Tundra to go get it.
Yes. It doesn't vary. It's Steve didn't know. It's $750 a month. If the trailer rent is more than that, I cover the extra.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. Here goes a nice slow roll.
Yeah, it's got skirts.
For the truck in the back? How much for the truck in the back?
I don't know. We'll have to ask my old friend where I got it stored. That's all his equipment out there.
Why aren't those wheels polished? Lame.
They were. It's just been sitting in a field.
I almost kind of want to buy that trailer.
You should.
I'll give you $10,000 for it.
Nah, hey, now, come on. Don't insult me.
Oh, come on. I'm a master negotiator. That's how I roll. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Look, so the interior's in really good shape. I mean, you can see there's no damage. There's one repair there right on the corner. But that was there when I bought it. Yep, you just pointed it out, Jeff. But other than that, like it's a real solid trailer. That floor is in good shape. That's the only damage right there. There was a repair done there, but it does not leak. Just try and be transparent, right? And the trailer is in North Dakota, so, but depending on, see, look at the floor, it's all good. But depending on what we can work out, maybe we can meet someone partway if that's what's needed.
Is that a plate trailer?
Well, utility doesn't list their trailers as plate trailers, but it does haul plate trailer loads.
No.
You can haul cans or anything 102, it'll haul. I've hauled all the can loads and all the stuff that requires
Right.
plate sizes.
That's a nice trailer.
Yeah.
There's newer ones that like a lot worse than that.
Oh, there is. There is.
My coffee's getting cold.
Uh-oh. You better get some fresh coffee, Jeff.
Why don't you have it in one of them fancy Yeti mugs that we have?
Does a trailer have a clean title?
So, I need to come to agreement on the price, and I just go down to they're holding it as collateral. The bank's holding it as collateral on a loan for my step deck. I've contacted the bank, and I just need to give them X number of dollars, and they're going to hand me title back. So there will be a period of transaction that I got to work with the bank on that.
No big deal though.
No.
Yeah, nice trailer. Snowlord, drive up there. Sandman will take you to breakfast and lunch and dinner. You go up there and buy
I
that.
will.
He might even let you stay at the house for free.
I don't know if he wants that.
Hey, he's got an extra room. He's had a couple people move out probably.
I have. I've had two of them move out in the last.
Yeah, he had two
couple
move
years.
out. That's why he's all smiling. Look at him.
It's gonna be a long time before he's an empty nester, though.
Well, he'll never be an
yeah.
empty nester. Never. Because they'll have kids. Now the grandkids will be staying over. Because wife will be, oh, look at the little baby. Next thing you know, Sandman will be here with two babies hanging on to him, doing his video. Yep. He'll have grandkids living there.
Yeah, but the title is clear. I just need to take some of the proceeds from selling it and give it to the bank to give it back to me. They're just holding possession of it. It hasn't been transferred to them.
Yeah, it looks like a clean trailer.
Yeah. Is everybody going to get out and vote next month?
Absolutely, everybody needs to get out and vote, regardless of your political affiliations or desires. Everybody needs to show up at the polls, regardless of what the media says is going to happen with the polls either.
Right. You got that right.
Vote your conscience, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, you got to vote your conscience, but, you know, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. You got to look at the people that are running and that are in there and what their agenda is. Just because you're Republican, you only vote Republican, or you're Democrat and only vote Democrat, that's not always the way you should vote, in my opinion. Because if you got some far left or far right people, if they're doing something that is not good for the country, why would you keep voting for them?
Well, I would agree with you on that, Jeff. But my point is that we all just need to show up at the polls, no matter what the media says is going to happen with our particular races that we're interested in, right?
Right. Because everybody knows the news is social media. They can slant it any way they want it and make people say, well, there's no reason for me to go. You know, these percentages are too high or whatever.
Well, not to mention the outside influences that are creating the social media posts that sway one way or another. That's a lot of that's happening.
Correct. How long have I been on here? Holy smokes.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to get off here.
Yeah.
I got to accomplish a few things, so thanks
Me
for
too.
having me on.
I was going to only be on for about 30 minutes, but it's been 51. Sandman, Cascade Transportation. If you want that trailer, get a hold of him. It's a nice trailer. Uh, he's got it priced right too, so and he'll negotiate
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, I'm asking 25,000, but I want to sell it. And if I get enough interest in it, I'm going to take the person that offers me the most money.
Right, of
So,
course.
and I think,
It's
and I
business.
think,
It's business, right?
right, it's business, right? And look,
Look,
that trailer is on truck paper for 40 grand all the way down to 25,000, and I'm asking at the bottom of the open market right now because I
and
want
look,
it to sell.
Snowlord, you offer Sandman 10 grand, and he tells you this: you better take your diesel and head on out of here. 'Cause you ain't getting it. See, air brakes are gone. Here he goes.
And Jason, I'm not getting out of the game. I switched to open deck, um, and I just want to take advantage of the capital investment that I have in that trailer, and um, the market isn't in. I don't see the
Well,
market in a position for me to use that trailer to grow my business with. There are other trailers that I want to do that with.
right, and there's no sense of having a piece of equipment just sitting around doing nothing, right, Jason?
Absolutely.
That's how come I don't have my truck parked outside next to the pole barn anymore.
You
Jason.
mean your lawn ornament?
Yes, Big Mac. That's why I don't have my lawn ornament sitting there. But that lawn ornament, let me tell you something. That truck has been zero headache, right? Um, the guys that bought that truck and then sold it to another guy, that truck has just been running and running and running.
Right.
So people that say the Max Force engine ain't no good, well, depends. If it's got the new emission system on it, they run just like any other truck. Probably even better than some of the ones. Like they have those expensive parts on them.
Yeah. Well, look, I think trucks in general, once you get to 2016 emissions and newer, 95% of the issues with them have been dealt with.
Right,
Now,
they've been
does that
fixed.
mean that they don't have maintenance that they require? They do have maintenance that require, but that maintenance isn't overly burdensome or expensive if the maintenance is done, right? You still got to be preventive maintenance, just like you don't run your brakes down to nothing and then have to do drums, right? You replace your brakes before the rivets get to the drums so that your drums go a second round, right? Or et cetera, et cetera.
Right. All right. So,
Well,
Rich, I'm getting out
yep,
of here. I got some things I got to take care of. Let me see if I
yep.
can put that up here one more time. There's the email address. Anybody wants it, email him about the trailer. He'll get back with you. And it's better than buying from a dealership.
Right, and this has had a lot of work done to it. So, um, like I said, you're not going to need to put tires on it. You're not going to need to put brakes on it. You're not going to need to have brake cans or slack adjusters. You're not going to have issues with any of that stuff. That stuff's all been done in the last year. So, um, like it's got all aluminum rims. It's a clean trailer. Got skirts. Can run California. So, if anybody's interested, cascadetransport@gmail.com. And thanks for putting it up, Jeff.
All right. Yep. No problem. We'll see
All right.
everybody later. We got to roll.
All right. Thanks, guys.